Welcome students to another session on vectors. Today we will begin our discussion with the topic of resultant vectors. In the previous class I had told you that in physics we study about large number of physical quantities which are broadly classified into the categories of scalars and vectors. Scalars are those physical quantities which are magnitude only but no direction, but vectors are those quantities which are both magnitude and direction. We studied a few important definitions in vector algebra. We also understood what is the importance of vectors. So today we shall discuss about resultant vectors and then switch over to the topic of discussion for today, that is addition of vectors. The question arises, what do we understand with the resultant of a vector? The resultant vector of two or more vectors is defined as that single vector which produces the same effect as is produced by individual vectors together. Now it is to be noted that the nature of the resultant vector is the same as that of the given vectors. Vectors cannot be added by simple laws of algebra, which is applicable to scalars. This means that we cannot employ the general method of addition of scalar quantities for adding two vectors, two or more vectors. To have a better understanding of this, let us consider a particle is first displaced through 4 meter due east and then 3 meter due north. Now for this we have to refer to this diagram. Let this displacement be represented by PQ, as you can see in the diagram, and QS respectively. The final displacement of the particle, in order to find out the final displacement of the particle, we have to draw a straight line from P, that is the starting point, to the end point S, that is displacement. Displacement will be PS, and since it's a vector, so we have to use proper notation. So here the displacement PS, that is equal to R vector. How to find out the magnitude of PS vector? So if we apply the general method of addition, then we shall get PS vector to be equal to 3 plus 4, that is equal to 7 meter. But going by the diagram, will that give the real magnitude of PS? Obviously not, because as we can see in the picture, as we can see in the diagram, it is a right angle triangle, and using Pythagoras theorem we have to find out the magnitude of PS. So obviously PS, the magnitude of PS is not equal to 7 meter, but it is equal to root over 4 square plus 3 square. We are employing Pythagoras theorem, that is equal to root over 25, and that is equal to 5 meter. So magnitude of vector PS, that is the displacement of the particle, is 5 meter. And going back to the diagram, the angle theta, which gives the direction of displacement of PS, is neither towards east nor towards north, but is due north of east. Now from this example we can understand that vectors cannot be added by simple laws of algebra. In this illustration we note that the displacement 5 meter along PS, that is in this value, along PS produces the same effect as the displacement 4 meter along PQ and 3 meter along QS together produce. It means that the displacement PS is the sum of or resultant of displacements PQ and QS. That is, we can write down PQ vector plus QS vector to be equal to PS vector, isn't it? If PQ, QS and PS are represented by A, B and R respectively, then we can also write down vector A plus vector B to be equal to vector R. Here R is called resultant of the two vectors A and B. It means if the tail of B coincides with the head of A, if the tail of B coincides with the head of A. Now I will like to just show you which vector we are mentioning as A and which vector is mentioned as B. So PQ is A and QS is B. So R is the resultant of vectors A and B. So if the tail of B, that is this point, coincides with the head of A, again this point, then the vector drawn from the tail of vector A to the head of vector B is called the resultant vector R of the two given vectors. So now let us understand the rules for geometric addition of vectors. For the addition of two vectors, represent these two vectors by arrowed lines using some suitable scale. Displace the second vector such that its tail coincides with the head of the first vector. Then the single vector drawn from the tail of the first vector to the head of the second vector represents their resultant vector. Now this is something exactly that we have seen in our previous example. So this is going to be the geometric addition of vectors, two vectors. For addition of three or more vectors, represent these vectors by arrowed lines using some suitable scale. Displace these vectors such that the head of first vector coincides with the tail of second vector, and whose head coincides with the tail of third vector, and so on. Then the single vector drawn from the tail of the first vector to the head of the last vector represents their resultant vector. Now to have a better understanding of how to displace the vectors and how to find out the resultant, we shall be considering some cases. One by one we will see, and then the concept will become much more clear to us. Let us begin with the first case when the two vectors are acting in the same direction. As you can see in the picture that is coming on your screen right now, let the two vectors A and B be acting in the same direction. This A and B be acting in the same direction. So in order to find the resultant, coincide the tail of B on the head of A, that is this point. Then the single vector R drawn from the tail of A to the head of B gives their resultant vector, that is R is equal to A plus B. In this case, the magnitude of the resultant vector is equal to the sum of the magnitudes of the two vectors, and its direction is the same as that of the two given vectors. So mathematically we can write down magnitude of vector R to be equal to magnitude of A plus magnitude of B. The mod sign actually shows the magnitude of the vector quantities. Coming to the second case, when two vectors are acting in opposite direction. Again, as you can see in the picture, let vector A and B be acting in opposite direction, as you can see in the picture. To find the resultant, coincide the tail of B on the head of A. Then the single vector R drawn from the tail of A to the head of B gives the resultant vector. So as you can see, R is equal to A plus minus of B. Obviously, since it is a vector, we have to consider the direction. So one direction is considered as positive, the other direction is considered as negative. So by superimposing one vector on the other, we get the resultant R to be equal to A plus minus of B vector, and that is equal to A minus B. Here the magnitude of the resultant vector is equal to the difference of the magnitude of the two vectors, and the direction of the resultant vector will be in the direction of bigger vector. So as you can see, mod of vector R, that is the magnitude of vector R, is equal to magnitude of vector A minus magnitude of vector B, and obviously in this case we have shown that magnitude of A is greater than magnitude of B, so it is A minus B. Coming to the third one, when two vectors act at some angle. Let the two vectors A and B be acting at some angle to each other. To find the resultant R, coincide the tail of A on the head of B. Coincide the tail of A to the head of B. This one. To find the resultant R, coincide the tail of A to the head of B. Then the single vector R drawn from the tail of A to the head of B gives the resultant vector. The two vectors A and B are represented by the sides OP and PQ of triangle OPQ taken in the same order. Then the resultant R is represented by the third side OQ of the triangle taken in the opposite order. This method of finding the resultant of two vectors is called the triangle law of vectors. Again, the resultant vector can also be found by coinciding the tail of A on the head of B. Now the resultant vector R is represented by OQ, which is the diagonal of the parallelogram OPQS. So it is clear that the two vectors A and B are represented by the two sides OP and OS of parallelogram OPQS drawn from point O. Then the resultant R is represented by the side OQ, that is the diagonal of the parallelogram drawn from the same point O. This method of finding the resultant of two vectors is called parallelogram law of vectors. We shall be discussing in detail about both the laws one by one. So let's begin with the triangle law of vector addition. Let's go to the statement. It states that if two vectors acting on a particle at the same time are represented in magnitude and direction by the two sides of a triangle taken in one order, the resultant vector is represented in magnitude and direction by the third side of the triangle taken in opposite order. We shall be obtaining the magnitude and direction of the resultant vector using this law of vector addition. So that is the analytical method of obtaining the magnitude and direction. For this we shall refer to this diagram. As you can see in the diagram, let the two vectors A and B inclined at an angle theta be acting on a particle at the same time. So we can give the vector notation on A as well as on B. But for the sake of convenience, we shall omit it because we are just considering the magnitude. So when we are simply writing A and B, or for resultant we are writing R, we are considering the magnitude. So let the two vectors A and B inclined at an angle theta be acting on a particle at the same time. Let they be represented in magnitude and direction by the two sides OA and AB. OA and AB of triangle OAB taken in the same order. Then according to triangle law of vector addition, the resultant R is represented by the third side OB of triangle taken in opposite order. Now in order to find the magnitude of vector R, we want to find out the magnitude of vector R. So in order to find out the magnitude of vector R, what shall we do? We will drop a perpendicular BN perpendicular to OP. We will drop a perpendicular BN to OA produced. Now as you can see, OA has been produced to N. So we are dropping a perpendicular BN to OA produced. So obviously from the diagram we can see that OA is equal to A. I am simply writing down the magnitudes. Then AB is equal to B and OB is equal to R, and angle NAB is equal to theta. So now let us consider the triangle ABN. Let us consider the triangle ABN. So from this triangle, what should be cos theta? We know that cos theta is equal to base by hypotenuse. So in this case, the base is AN and hypotenuse is AB. So cos theta will be AN by AB. So again, we will write down in triangle, the name of the triangle is A and B. As I told you, cos theta is equal to base by hypotenuse, that is AN by AB. So cos of theta is equal to AN by AB. So therefore AN will be equal to AB cos of theta, that is equal to B cos of theta. So in this manner we can find out the value of AN, and that comes out to be B cos theta. And already, as you can see in the diagram, we have to also find out the value of the perpendicular. So again we can write down using the same triangle sin theta. Sin theta is perpendicular by hypotenuse, so it will be BN by AB. So sin of theta will be equal to BN by AB, which implies that BN is equal to AB sin of theta, that is equal to B sin of theta. So now we know what is AN. AN is B cos theta, and BN, that is B sin theta, and it is clearly mentioned in the diagram. So after we obtain the values for both the arms of the triangle using Pythagoras theorem, for this right angle triangle A and B, we can write down the formula using Pythagoras theorem as OB square. For the triangle OBN, we can write down OB square equal to ON square plus BN square. So in the right angle triangle, the name of the triangle is OBN. OBN, we will write down OB square is equal to ON square plus BN square. See, ON square plus BN square. Now let us substitute the values. OB square, that is R square. What is ON? What is ON? ON is OA plus AN. OA is equal to A and AN is B cos theta. So obviously ON is equal to A plus B cos theta, isn't it? So let us substitute this value. So we can write down A plus B cos theta whole square plus Bn is B sin theta whole square. So now we can write down R square equal to A square plus 2AB cos of theta plus B square cos square theta plus B square sin square theta. So now we can write down R square equal to A square plus 2AB cos theta plus B square, taking common we get cos square theta plus sin square theta. And as per trigonometric identity, we know cos square theta plus sin square theta is equal to 1. So we get R, we can write down R to be equal to A square plus B square plus 2AB cos of theta taken under root. So this gives us the magnitude of the resultant vector. So in order to find out the magnitude of resultant vector, we get R equal to root over A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. Now since it is a vector, we have to consider the direction also. So the direction is given by the angle alpha. The direction is given by the angle alpha. So now we get tan of alpha. So tan alpha is perpendicular by base, so that will be Bn divided by ON. So that will be equal to b sine theta divided by a plus b cos of theta. So tan alpha gives the direction of the resultant vector r. Coming to parallelogram law of vector addition. It states that if two vectors acting on a particle at the same time be represented in magnitude and direction by the two adjacent sides of a parallelogram drawn from a point, the resultant vector is represented in magnitude and direction by the diagonal of the parallelogram drawn from the same point. Again, we shall be finding out the magnitude of the resultant vector. For this, we shall refer to this picture in which you can see the parallelogram. And as you can see, we have represented the vectors. Let the two vectors be represented in magnitude and direction by the two adjacent sides OP and OS of parallelogram OPQS drawn from point O. According to parallelogram law of vectors, the resultant vector R will be represented by the diagonal OQ of the parallelogram. So in order to find out the magnitude of R, we draw QN perpendicular to OP produced. So from the figure, OP is equal to A, that is magnitude. OS is equal to PQ, and that is equal to B. OQ is equal to R, and angle SOP is equal to angle QPN, angle SO. So that is equal to theta. In triangle QNP, PN is equal to PQ cos theta, that is B cos theta, and QN is equal to PQ sin theta, that is B sin theta. So considering the right angle triangle ONQ, we can write down OQ square equal to ON square plus QN square. Obviously, by substituting the values and following a similar method as we did in the previous case, we can obtain the magnitude of R to be equal to root over A square plus 2AB cos theta plus B square. Now the calculation part we will find is exactly the same one as we did for the previous case, and obviously in a similar manner we can write down the magnitude for the direction, that is tan of beta, which will give the direction of the resultant R. So tan of beta is obviously equal to Qn by On, so that is equal to Qn by On, and as we can see that Qn is equal to B sin theta and On is equal to A plus B cos theta. So that will give you B sin theta divided by A plus B cos of theta. Now comes the discussion of special cases. We shall be considering different situations and what is going to be the magnitude for their resultant and the direction of that resultant that we can see depending upon the angle of inclination between the two vectors. That means we shall consider different values of theta. So let us consider the special cases. So one by one. First, when the two vectors are acting in the same direction. So this means theta is equal to 0 degree. This means cos of theta, we know that cos of 0 is 1 and sine of 0 degree is equal to 0. So from this we can get the magnitude of R to be equal to A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta is 1. So that will give you A plus B whole square under root, and obviously that will give you R equal to A plus B. So this means when the two vectors are acting in the same direction, the resultant is given by the expression R equal to A plus B. What about tan beta? Tan of beta is equal to B sin theta divided by A plus B cos theta. So that is equal to 0. So obviously beta is equal to 0 degree. So thus for two vectors acting in the same direction, the magnitude of the resultant vector is equal to the sum of the magnitudes of the two vectors and acts along the direction of A and B. Let us come to the second condition. When the two vectors are acting in opposite directions, then theta is equal to 180 degree. For theta equal to 180 degree, cos theta, that is cos of 180 degree, is equal to minus 1, and sine of 180 degree is equal to 0. So now we shall get r to be equal to root over a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta, which is minus 1. So that will give you r equal to a minus b or b minus a. Again, tan of beta, that will be equal to b cos theta, b sin theta, sorry, divided by a cos theta. So that will be equal to 0. So beta will be equal to 0 degree or 180 degree. So thus for two vectors acting in opposite directions, the magnitude of the resultant vector is equal to the difference of the magnitudes of the two vectors and acts in the direction of the bigger vector. When the two vectors act at right angles to each other, that is theta is equal to 90 degree, then sin theta, that is sine of 90 degree, is 1, and cos theta, that is cos of 90 degree, is 0. So obviously resultant vector r is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. So you are left with root over a square plus b square, and tan of beta, that will be equal to b sin theta by a plus b cos theta, that is equal to b by a, and beta will be equal to tan inverse b by a. So thus we can know that the magnitude of the resultant of two vectors is maximum when the vectors act in the same direction and is minimum when they act in opposite direction. It should be noted that while finding the resultant vectors of two vectors by the parallelogram law of vector addition, the two vectors a and b should either act towards the point or away from the point. So this will be all regarding today's class, in which we understood how to add two vector quantities, and we focused on triangle law of vector addition and parallelogram law of vector addition. I will suggest all the students to practice some questions based upon both the laws. Thank you.